Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. Stephen here, and it's the first time in a long time on this channel that I am doing a loan report. I thought I'd chat in the international break about some Manchester City players that are out on loan and basically sort of go through what they're up to. Now, of course, I've not watched every single game that these players are playing because who's got time for that? I definitely don't. But I've been paying attention. I've been watching the updates online and been doing a bit of Googling and a bit of research and trying to get the word of mouth for the fans of the teams as well, because it's a decent kind of barometer to see what fans think online and so on. And of course, I'll bring some stats as well, look at the players. Good morning to everyone. Once again, please do give this video a like. Please do help support the channel if you want to. 68,314 subscribers as it currently stands. Can we get to 70k? It'd be nice. I'd like to do it. It's my birthday tomorrow. So if you want to support me a little bit more, wish me happy birthday, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a share. Give it a retweet over on Twitter. It would be massively appreciated. Oh, sorry. X.com as it's called now. X.com. Jeez, it's terrible. It's all over Twitter. Go and do that if you want to. It does help support the channel absolutely loads. Good morning to people in the chat. Mark's there. Paro, Dudley, Scrubber, Matt, Ollie, Cad. Good morning, Blues. Good morning. And we know Joao Cancelo update today, Ollie, unfortunately, mate. Cancelo is not going to be in the loan report for me. I'm sorry. I'm focusing on players that actually have a Manchester City future, potentially. And Joao Cancelo he's dead to Guardiola, let's be honest. And has not even played yet, hasn't he? So it would have been like, nope, no games played there. So I'm going to go through today a whole bunch of names, including, let me just double check my list. Who have I got on my list of names? I have got Delap, Callum Doyle. I've got Finley Burns. I've got Alex Robertson. I got Kabaly. I got Maximo Peroni, Wilson-Esbrand, Luke Mbete, Kian Brecken, amongst other names. That's the kind of people I'm going for today. I'll jump over firstly to the first person, which is Liam Delap over at Hull City. Now, Liam, of course, I think Liam is worth talking about what he was up to last season. And obviously, now we all know Liam Delap at one point was a really highly rated striker. Burst onto the scene. I was dead excited for him. He looked like a natural finisher. Scored a load of goals. Broke records at EDS level and youth level. And we're all very excited, you know, rightfully so. Scoring loads for England youth player teams as well. But then he went on loan to Preston. And then he went on loan, so he was Stoke and Preston. And I think he scored like 4 goals in about 30 odd games there. It just didn't happen for him at all last season. It's one of those things where it can happen every now and then, where you can lose a bit of confidence. And as Matt said in the chat, he had injuries and he didn't really quite get up to there. And I think his dad was involved at Stoke, and then the manager was sacked. It didn't happen. Lost his confidence a little bit. It happens. But it's easy to forget what a talent Liam Delap actually is. And since then, he's joined Hull on loan, and his stats have been really nice there, man. Really nice. Here's his stats so far. He's played 5 games for them, started 5 games, an average 74 minutes per game. He's scored 2 goals, but from an expected XG of 0.51. So he's not got a lot of chances, but he's scored 2 so far. And important, he's got 1 assist as well. So he's got 2 goals and an assist in his first 5 games, which is really, really nice, man. It's good stuff. He's scoring frequency of every 186 minutes, which is not bad at all, man. That's like 1 every 2 games sort of rate. And that is encouraging. And as Abu Bakr said there, if you look at where he's been playing a lot over on the right, as you can see down the channels here. He's doing a lot of work down the right side of the pitch. His stats there, 7.2, 6.6, 7.1, a 6.9, and a 7.4 against Leicester nonetheless. He had his best game, the match-winning game. He scored the goal against Leicester City, who at this point had won every single game. So that is really encouraging. Enzo Maresca's Leicester were absolutely flying. He had a really good game. He attempted 5 dribbles, only won 2, but he was going for it. 6 out of 12 of his duels won. Expected assist 0.21. Goals 1. Touches 34, but either way, you know, you can't argue with that return given how important it is right now for him. So we're looking at a potential here of a guy who's sort of refining his form, and if he can have a goal scoring season of 15 to 20 goals, that could be really, really good. Look, I don't see him coming back to our bench, Matt, next season. No chance, mate. I mean that in the politest sense. He's got no chance of a Manchester City bench anytime soon because you've got Alvarez, you've got Haaland. It's not going to happen unless one of those leaves. But even then, I don't see Guardiola bringing him back. But what I can potentially see, look, Imagine a world where Evan Ferguson leaves Brighton for 150 million. It's probably going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Brighton went for him in a year or two, and then he carried on that Starboy path again or something like that. All I want for Liam Delap right now is to find his form again and show that potential. And even if he moves on with a right to buy back, I'd be happy with that. But either way, it's a good start to the season for Liam. Obviously, an incredibly talented footballer. The door may have closed for now at Manchester City, but there is no shame in that. The level is so high. It's just good to see Liam. Good to see Liam playing football again and scoring goals. It's really, really important. This man is an absolute low machine, Callum Doyle. Look, Callum, he's had such an interesting history, Callum Doyle. Like, obviously, I'll bring up his history already, but this guy, let me just jump over to, I don't know, his Wikipedia or something like that. I'll bring it up on screen right now. Callum Doyle here, he's only 19 years old, and he'll turn 20 in October, but this is already third loan. He went on loan to Sunderland at 17. He had a season last season at Coventry on loan, then Leicester, of course, as well now. But this is impressive. It's really impressive. Like, he's done this much already. Last season, of course, he was a big part of the Coventry City side that made him a run to the playoffs, which was obviously huge. Callum Doyle is a really good player, guys. He's a really good player. And this season so far, he's had an excellent start to life at Leicester. He's come in, look at that there, 7, an 8.3, 7.1, a 7.8, a 7.2. This guy is hot, man, right now. His average rating here on SofaScore. Playing, of course, as you can see there, I saw it on the left-hand channel, left centre-back for Enzo Maresca. He's absolutely owned it as well. In the Josko Vardio, Ake sort of role, he started every game so far. He got a beautiful assist as well at one point with a gorgeous diagonal ball, which is sort of very Laporte-esque. Callum Doyle is the real deal. He's going to get promoted with Leicester this season probably, and he'll be a Premier League player next season. Callum Doyle should absolutely carry on down this loan path. And James said that disappointed he didn't get a Premier League loan. I think this is fine. I think there's a tendency to always presume they need to take the next step straight away. And I've been down that road before too, but I actually don't really feel like he does. I think he's fine. He's playing at a Premier League level side probably right now, and he's going to learn. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes it's better to learn how to win. Like, he's playing in a possession-heavy team while winning games, which is what life would be at Man City. So he's learning how to play for the best team in his league, if that makes sense. And it's different because he's playing against low blocks. He's playing against teams that come up against Leicester who want to win everything. So there's an element to say that while 19 years old still, the Championship is one of the best finishes goals in world football. It's such a physical league. It's such a great league. He's playing against loads of Premier League quality players. He is. The Championship's full of them. You know, so many teams could go up there. And by next season, he'll be 20, about to turn 21. And he'll be a Premier League player then for someone. Probably for Leicester on loan again as they go up again. And that's absolutely fine. He just suits... He suits anywhere. And I always think that a good sign of a quality player is that they're good in any team. Like, they're good anywhere because they have inherent quality. And Callum Doyle seems to be good anywhere, at any age, in any team, because he has that inherent quality. A really elegant footballer, you know. Enzo at Leicester, brilliant stuff for him. And so far, life looks really good for Callum Doyle. I'm really impressed with what we're seeing from him. And I've got a feeling he's going to really enjoy that loan. This next one's a bit interesting. Let me try and bring up his previous stats. 1 second. Let me just double check he went where I thought he did last season. He did, yeah, he did. Now, I'm going to talk about Finley Burns. Now, if you don't know much about him, he's a young 20-year-old centre-back. Last season, he was on loan at Swansea in the Championship, but didn't get an awful lot of football, actually. Not a lot of football. He got a few games here and there, but now, actually, he started to get a bit of game time at League One Stevenage. Nice kit, that, by the way. I really like that kit. And he's played pretty much regularly every single week, sort of as a right centre-back, right back for them. But as you can see by his stats there, pretty decent, averaging a 7. 6 games started, 6 played. It's nice. It's a good start to him so far. Averaging 38 touches per game. Big chances created 1. I know it's a bit unscientific, but obviously I've not watched many Stevenage games. And all you got to do is I searched him and look at the fans are saying, this guy, I'm not supposed to fall in love with loanies, but Finley Burns. Finley Burns to be total class privilege to watch. Another one saying, never thought I'd fall in love with a loan player, but Finley Burns is different level. The Southwark Makalele apparently played in midfield. That's interesting. So, he's obviously, he's really popular. Seems really popular. Finley, he played defensive midfielder. Now, the thing is for me, Finley Burns is another ball-playing centre-back, but they had him as DM for Stevenage, and it seems to have gone really well. So I love that. I absolutely love that for Finley Burns. And, like, I know he's a really nice lad. I've actually stood next to his parents once at a game a while back, and I know he's also very popular on TikTok, apparently, because he's a handsome lad. Apparently, he got a bit of loving online because he's a handsome fella, and his dad was a very handsome man too, and his mum was a very beautiful lady. I remember stood watching the academy game again. That's a beautiful family right there, and they all just were a beautiful family. But he's doing very well for himself, and it's nice to see, because even though I don't think he can make a Manchester City future, Finley Burns is doing well at Stevenage, and who knows, maybe he could get like a bit of a run, kind of sort of out of nowhere. Like, where's Stevenage doing? Let's have a look. I don't know how they're doing. Let's have a look at League One table, Stevenage. Well, there we go. That's interesting. So Stevenage are currently third. So he's playing well regularly for a team. One of the best teams in League One. It's only League One, but it's nice, man. It's nice, and it's good for him. It's good for him. It's a good bit of development there. Next up on the list is Alex Robertson. He's playing at Portsmouth. As you bring up this table here, Portsmouth currently in 5th. I think Alex Robertson so far has had he's had a steady start. I wouldn't say he's had a great start to life, but I really like Alex Robertson. He's a really technical box-to-box midfielder. He's been around the first team a little bit. Loads of natural ability. A wonderful finisher. A great rasping long strike. Just a good player, man. Like a really good player. I think how old is he now? He's 20 years old. Aussie, of course. Midfielder, right-footed, of course, as well. And he had a loan at Ross County last season, which didn't do much for him. And now, of course, he's gone on loan to Portsmouth. And I think he's had quite a few. He's played in 5 games, but he's had a couple of starts and quite a few substitute appearances. From what I could tell, the early impression was that they were really impressed with his technical ability and his dribbling and his liveliness, because he's a really aggressive attacking player, Alex Robertson. But I think he's not like sort of nailed down a place yet. It reminds me a little bit of McAtee at the start of his time at Sheffield United, where obvious talent there, but couldn't immediately get into the team. But he's got the work rate, Alex Robertson. I know he does. He's got the talent, and fingers crossed he can make it there, because Portsmouth, once again, they're a good team, man. They're a good team. Guys, get the likes up if you don't mind. It does help support the channel, so please consider liking that video. The next one I want to talk about is a Premier League loanee. We've got a right back on loan in the Premier League, is a Kabaly. Of course, I think he won. Did he win that young player of the tournament at the African Nations for Burkina Faso? I think he did, didn't he? Isaac Kabaly is a really interesting player. He was on loan last season, I think, at Marseille, wasn't it? I think Marseille was it. And he did really well there, Isaac Kabaly. He seems like a really interesting player. A right back playing for Luton, promoted. And I think he's so far, for what I can tell, started I think he started all their games, I think, statistically. He's been involved, all their games. 5 played, started 5, and I think that includes, there you go, go to the league stats here. He's played 3 but started 2 on the right-hand side. Against Chelsea, look, so far, from what I can tell, he had a good game against Brighton. I've done a bit of Googling once again and looked in. I've sort of seen some highlights as well. He's a really obvious attacking player there. He had a really nice moment against Chelsea where beat a player, got a good crossing. He's a really obvious good attacking footballer. But he's obviously playing in a team that's going to really struggle. But if he can come away with this with any credit and have a decent season there, Kabaly's going to do himself no favours and hopefully get like a pretty big move, or maybe even get a chance to City at some point in the future. But all he's got to do is just play well there. He's had a decent start so far. He's averaging 25 touches per game, 0.29 expected assists, big chances created 1 so far. Only 11 accurate passes per game, basically, so far, but he's barely getting a chance to touch. He's mainly just defending for Luton Town, so we'll see how he goes for him. But we've got a player there, potentially. He's a good player, but we need to see how it goes. Maxime Peroni, he went on loan to Las Palmas over in League One. Now, Maxime Peroni, of course, a player that spent a lot of time at Manchester City Football Club. We wanted to see him stay around, potentially. 20 years old Argentine. He's not played for... Has he played for Argentina yet? I think he has, hasn't he? Internationally, my head is tired. Either way, he's a really nice player. And he's joined Las Palmas on loan, which is great because he's joined a La Liga side. And I think he's finally had his first little performance. He had a cameo off the bench the other day, which was really encouraging. It was really encouraging. He only had, let me bring up the stats here. He only had 34 minutes off the bench, but he was involved in so much. He had 45 touches, 32%, 32 accurate passes. I watched the little game. He was floating around everywhere, and it was this kind of performance where you think, actually, he's going to be involved and starting very regularly for them. You can tell already Las Palmas are going to like him. Like, there's something there with Maximo Peroni. You can tell he's got a little bit of elegance to his game. He's got a lot of natural ability. He really likes to burst forward and try and create chances. He's got this like late run into the box. I like what I've seen of him. It's really encouraging. Like, it really is. I feel like he's got an awful lot of talent, and he could be one to surprise us a tiny bit, you know. He just looks like a good footballer. Who's next on my list? I think it's going to be Wilson-Esbrand. Let me double check. Let me bring up his stats. Wilson-Esbrand has gone on loan to Stade de Reims. It is over in France. And to be honest, the thing is with him, he's 20 years old now, of course. He was on loan at Coventry last season. He had a couple of decent little performances for the first team. I've already got a super chat from someone being Mr. Negative. Oh, let's never watch any youth football ever again, Sir Alan Pep Mancini. With the chat saying, all your youngsters will be sold. What's the point? It's all about making money. Let's support them anyway. You never know, mate. Strange things have happened in football. I appreciate the super chat, but I'm doing a video about you players, and you're here just to tell me not to bother. Why? Let me just watch the football and enjoy it, you know? Let me talk about it. Thank you for the super chat, though. But, you know, come on. It's Saturday morning. Let's not be so negative. Anyway, Joshua Wilson-Esbrand, he's on loan at Stade de Reims over in Liga, of course, as well. He could have been playing. With, of course. No, that's Rennes, not Rem. Ollie, different team. And he started a few games so far. He started 4 games for them. He started 4 games there. He started 3 games out of 4. He hasn't played that well so far, from what I can tell online. There are his stats so far: 6.1, 6.6, 6.6, 6.5. I was doing a bit of Googling, and the fans haven't taken to him yet. Like, genuinely, it's one of those things where, like, it could be a little bit tough to just get going. I did do some Googling. Like, a lot of French fans were like, he's not sort of adapted, and they were saying he looks a bit poor defensively and so on. It could take time to come. It's a very tough league to go. You know, I'm not going to hold it against him so far. It is difficult. The levels are so high, you know. But we will see. We will see how it goes. I like Wilson-Esbrand. My thing with Wilson-Esbrand has always been that he's very raw. Great attacker. Really good attacker. But he needs to be a Manchester City player, he has to sort of learn how to compose it a little bit and keep the ball an awful lot smarter. Luke Mbete is next on this list. I think he's played, according to the stats, just the 1 game so far. He's gone on loan to Den Bosch over in the Netherlands. They're in the, what tier are they? In the Eerste Divisie? I don't know what league that level that is. Is that the 2nd tier, I think? I think it might be the 2nd tier of Dutch football. But either way, he's there on loan. He had a pretty poor loan at Huddersfield last season and Bolton before that. He's not had a lot of luck, Luke. He's only 19, but he's a really smart player, really nice defender. Oh yeah, right. I forgot to mention Reims. Reims is that team with Will Still, is it, or whatever he's called. The guy who got fined all the time. He became a meme online. But he's their manager, the young English manager. So obviously he's got the loan over there. Fingers crossed he can coach him, confidence into him. But back to Luke Mbete. Look, a really nice centre-back. A really composed left centre-back. But he's not found his footing yet so far in the professional game. On loan over at Den Bosch, 2nd tier of Dutch football. Fingers crossed, you know, he can find a little bit of confidence because he's a nice player, good footballer. A little bit of a, you know, aggressive ball-winning centre-back, but with good height, good physical strength. And he's only played 1 game so far, but fingers crossed he can find a little bit of confidence, a little bit of form, because he didn't have the best time previously on loan. But I do like him. He's a nice player, man. And fingers crossed he can get a little bit of luck over in the Netherlands, because he deserves it. We also sent out on loan this young fella, Kian Brecken. Kian Brecken joined Wickham. I really like Kian Brecken, a really complete midfielder, box-to-box, aggressive, like a smart finisher, just a sort of like a Tommy Doyle-esque, I would say, but a really nice player. He's gone on loan to Wickham. I think he's only had 45 minutes so far. He started one game. He'll have a little bit of time to break through. Fingers crossed he can do that over in League One. But Kian Brecken is a player that a lot of clubs have been watching, like Southampton and so on. And it's only the start of his journey there, but so far it's just a 45-minute appearance. I have no idea how it got on. I'll just do a quick Google search to see if anyone said anything on Twitter. Or, not a Google search, a Twitter search. People say anything about him. But I do know he's a really, highly sought after player. But he's not sort of got on yet. But we'll see how he goes. But either way, there's a lot of high hopes for Kian Brecken. He's a smart footballer, and fingers crossed we will see a little bit more. Anyway, guys, that is it. I mean, there's like Tommy Doyle, of course, gone on loan, Howard Bellis, James McAtee, but they haven't really had any minutes yet, so I've not really had a chance to talk about them in any detail because they've not been involved. It's all been a little bit last minute. Jan Kuter as well, but I've not paid attention to him. Someone else can let you know in the comments how it's going. I think Jadel Katongo's gone on loan to Peterborough as well, but he's not played yet, so hopefully next month there'll be a few more updates. But I will try and do this more often if you want me to. If you're enjoying these little updates, these little loan reports, I think it's good fun. Fingers crossed you are enjoying it. It's a bit of content during the international break when it's very dead. Let me know down in the comments what you want to see, of course. I could try to do different kinds of content if you need during this international break because it's dead and I hate it. I want to talk about Man City, but it's quiet. For now, though, thank you for watching. Like this video. Let me know down in the comments what you make of some of these young players, and you guys are going to be the first to witness my new end board for these videos where it'll have thanks to my patrons and members, the people who support the channel. So, Pac-Man, that's interesting. I will do a sort of like a CFA. I'll do a series called Once a Blue. I'll do that. That's a good Pac-Man. It's a good idea. I'll do a series called Once a Blue where I talk about Once a Blue, always a Blue. The ones that have left. And see what they're up to, because it'd be interesting to see. I'll do that at some point. For now, though, here's the new end board. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Bye-bye.